We're back at it. 2.5 practice. Pages 64 through 65. I'll be doing the evens per use. Here we go. So we're just gonna practice the for 1 through 18. We're just gonna use our decimal clearing and solve for our variable. So for decimal clearing, if we see a decimal, we want to ask what's the most number of decimal places we have. In this case, it's just 1. So we're going to move the decimal over 1 everywhere. So once here, and now you may think that's all, but remember, there's an imaginary 1 in front of our variables. So we can move that over 1 as well. So instead of 1x, now we have 10x. That's a very important aspect. So be very careful if you encounter a, just becomes 35. Whatever you encounter. I already forgot. Alright, 10x minus 35 equals 85. The opposite of subtraction by 35 is addition by 35. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. These cancel. We're left with 10x equals 100 and something. 15. Alright, x, the opposite of multiplying by 10 is dividing by 10. What we do to the one side, we'll do to the other. And remember, division by 10. If multiplication by 10 moves our decimal over to the right once, division by 10 moves our decimal over to the left once. So we got x equals 11.5. So see, even at the end of all that, we still end up with a decimal. That's just because of the way our problem was. But, you know, sometimes decimal clearing works and is helpful. Sometimes it really doesn't matter. Okay, x plus 6.3 equals 9. What's the most amount of decimal places? We have 1, so we'll move everything over once, and then remember our imaginary 1, not imaginary, it's there, it's just not showing. Move it over, so now we got 10x plus 63 equals 90, opposite of addition by 63, subtraction by 63. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. These cancel, we're left with 10x, we're left with 27. Opposite of multiplying by 10 is dividing by 10. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. If multiplying by 10 moves our decimal over to the right once, dividing by 10 moves our decimal over to the left once. We're left with x equals 2.7. And then over here, what's the most number of decimal places we have? We got 2. So we'll move everything over twice, and then don't forget our imaginary 1. That's going to move over twice as well. So we got 12 equals 100. C plus 9. Subtract 9 from both sides. We got 3 equals 100c, and divide by 100 on each side. If multiplying by 100 moves our decimal to the right twice, dividing by 100 moves our decimal to the left twice. Excuse me. So we got 0.03 equals c. What's the most number of decimals? We got 1, so let's move everything over once. 12x plus 20x equals 160. We can simplify on the left, combining like terms. 12x's plus 20x's gives us 32x's equals 160. Opposite of multiplying by 32 is dividing by 32, not x. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. We got x. Do we have any factors in common between 160 and 32? 16 goes into both. 16 goes into 32 twice. 16 goes into 160 10 times, and then 10 and 2 both have it even, so 2 goes into 10 5 times, 2 goes into 10 once, so we're just left with 5. What's the most number of decimal places? We got to move 1. We'll move everything over once, and don't forget about our imaginary 1 in front of the exponent, or in front of the variable. 10x plus 13 equals 52. Subtract both sides by 13, something like that. That's a bad 3. 10x equals 27. Divide by 10, divide by 10. If multiplying by 10 moves our decimal to the right once, dividing by 10 moves our decimal to the left once. 2.7. Again? We just had that, didn't we? I don't know. I'm not going to look back. What's the most number of decimals we got to move? 1, so we'll move everything over once. 4x equals 48. Divided by 4, divide by 4. So as we can see in this case, moving the decimal helped make this one a little quicker, so that was a beneficial time to use it. What's the most number of decimal places we got to move? Shoot, is there that many zeros? Oh, no, I wrote one too many. Whew. Okay, got to move it over twice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What do we got? 5x plus 10x equals 25x minus 30. Alright, can we do any simplifying? Yes, on the left, we can get 15x equals 25x minus 30. Let's get all the variables to one side, so we'll move our 15x over. Since it's positive, we'll undo it by subtraction. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. What we're left with, don't worry, it's 0, but don't freak out. This is the first time we've seen 0 on the same side, or all by itself on one side. So just keep it there for now, and we're going to do our algebra exactly the same way. We want to get x by itself. We're undoing, so we're going to do our order of operations in reverse. What's the opposite of subtracting by 30? Adding by 30. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. What's 0 plus 30? 30. 10x, oops, ignore that. It's the opposite of multiplication by 10, division by 10. 30 divided by 10 is 3. Okay, and then lastly, on this page, then we got one more. Let's do some simplifying first. Oh, well. Ooh, sneaky. Ooh. Yeah, let's do our simplifying first. You got to be very careful because of this parenthesis. If we do move decimals over here and here, it would have messed this up if you don't know how to do it right. So we'll do our distribution of the 3. 3 times 0.2 gives us 0.6x. 3 times negative 0.3 gives us negative 0.9 equals 9. And now how many decimals do we got to move over? 1. So we'll move everything over once. 5x plus 6x minus 9 equals 90. Combine like terms, 11x minus 9 equals 90. What we do to one side, we'll do, well, opposite of subtraction by 9, addition by 9. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. Cancel, 11x equals 99. Divide 11, divide 11, x equals 9. Great. And then last one of these problems. What's the most decimals we have? 2. Move everything over twice. 25x minus 40 equals 30x minus 130. Okay, can we simplify on each side? No, but we want to get our variables to the same side, so let's move our 25 over. Since it's positive, we'll subtract by 25x. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. These cancel, we're left with negative 40. 5x minus 130. How do we get x by itself? It's being multiplied in subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction by 130? Addition by 130. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. This leaves us with 90 equals 5x. Divide both sides by 5, and we got something. X equals something. I'll let you figure it out because I don't feel like it. Okay, 1 through 4. We got some more word problems, so I'll do the evens. Number 2. How many inches are in x feet plus y yards? So, feet equals x. Yards equals y. Yeah, yards. Wait, what did I do? Feet? Let me do that again. Let me write it out. Feet. Ah! Feet equal x. Actually, feet equal f. I'm not doing what they tell me. Feet equal f. Yards equal y. There we go. Now, what we want to do is figure out how many inches are in. We need to be able to convert our feet into inches in our yards into inches. So, for inches, if we have a certain amount of feet, how many inches do we have? So 1 foot has 12 inches. So 1 foot equals 12 inches, right? We'll just use I for inches. Well, let's figure out what inches equal. We want to get I by itself, so divide by 12. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. We got 1f, so just f, divided by 12 equals our number of inches. How do we read this in English? The number of feet we have divided by, this is what happens when you do things wrong. I made a mistake. Please hold. Okay, what we want to do is change our phrasing. So, f equals the number of feet we have. Okay? Y equals the number of yards we have. And then I equals the number of inches we have. This is the important distinction we need. So if we have a certain number of feet, how do we get our number of inches? Well, how many inches are in a foot? There's 12. So if we have 1 foot, we need to multiply by 12, and that gives us our number of inches. Now, same with yards. If we have some yards, how do we convert that into inches? Well, it's not easy just off the bat, but we need to convert it into feet first. So 1 yard equals, how do we get the number of feet in a yard equals the number of yards times 3. So we can replace, you know what, forget this. This is too complicated to explain because I haven't made the video about units yet. Look out for a unit conversion video and I'll teach you how to do it there. This is just too much to teach at once. You stumped me. You got me. You didn't stump me. I just need more time to explain these concepts to you. So watch out for that video. Sorry I wasted your time on this question. Let's do number 4. The product of two numbers is x. So product means we're multiplying. Product of two numbers. We don't know what those numbers are, so let's use A and B. Product means they're multiplying. The product of these two numbers is x. Okay? One of the numbers is 10. What is the other number? So let's replace one of these with 10. Let's make a substitution. Let's say A is the one that equals 10. So substitute 10b equals x. So if one of them is 10, what's the other number? The other number is b, so that means we want to get b by itself. What's happening to b? It's being multiplied by 10. How do we undo multiplication by 10? We divide by 10. What we do to one side, we'll do to the other. These cancel. We're left with b equals x over 10. So if we know what x is, we can plug it in here, and that'll tell us what our value for b is. So 10 times that number would give us whatever. So let's say it's 40. 40 divided by 10 gives us 4, which means 10 times 4 gives us 40. That's all that means, but it doesn't matter whether you know the explanation or not. All you had to do in that case was just translate it. Okay. 5 through 11, just simplifying the problems. 5 minus 13 is negative 8. 12 minus negative 8, we got our parentheses, so we're distributing. That negative is the same as negative 1. What's negative 1 times negative 8? Positive 8. 21 plus 8 is 29. And then over here, remember absolute values, the bars. They're different from the parentheses. What does it mean? Whatever's on the inside, make it positive. So we'll do that first. 2 plus 8 minus negative 8 plus 12. All right. We got any multiplication? Yes, we got multiplication in the form of distribution. That's the same as negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 8. Hey, we just did that. Equals 8. 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 12. Let's take advantage of our 2 and our 8. 2 and our 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. 8 plus 12 is 20. 10 plus 20 is 30. And then lastly, number 12, we got 10 minus negative 10. What does absolute value mean? Whatever's in the parentheses, or whatever's in the bars, make it positive. So we'll do that first. 2 minus 10 is 0. Now, we got 1 through 44. Those are problems we've done before. I could go through them, but I think at this point you're able to do them on your own. So we'll just leave this lesson at the one I just finished. So we'll see you next time. I'll make a video about unit conversion. That's important. I'll make it sometime. Okay, bye.